What's up guys, today I'm bringing you a Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle, and this is an OU match versus a subscriber, and I'm using a Mega Gallade team. As always, if you guys do enjoy these Wi-Fi battles, then please make sure to leave a like to show support. I'd really appreciate it. And as you can see from my opponent's team, his team is really interesting. He has Chansey and Gliscor, two really fat Pokemon along with 4 offensive Pokemon. So let's see how this goes. I'm gonna lead off with my Raikou because Raikou does have a really good matchup against his team. I can Volt Switch on his Scizor, I can HP Ice his Gliscor, I can Shadow Ball his Gengar, and I can go for the T-Bolt on his Thundurus as well as on his Azumarill, and I can of course Volt Switch on his Chansey. So he's gonna lead off with the Scizor and he's gonna Mega Evolve, as I'm gonna go for the Volt Switch, and it's just gonna do a really decent amount of damage to him. And I'm gonna go into my Choice Scarf Landers T as he's gonna go for the U-turn, and he's gonna bring in his Azumarill now. This Azumarill is a really big threat to my team because, as you can see, I have no solid switches to this Azumarill, which is a common problem for offense. Like, there are not many Pokemon which can switch into Azumarill. Even Ferrothorn gets blown back by Superpower. So I'm gonna go into my Manaphy as he's gonna go for the Player Up. Now, looking at the damage, he's definitely Choice Banded Azumarill, which is much more scarier. So I'm gonna go into my Heatran because I know he's logged into Player Up because of his Choice Band, and I can take this turn to get up my Stealth Rocks, and Stealth Rocks are gonna be really helpful against his team. He might have Defog on his Mega Scizor, but I'm just gonna go for my Stealth Rocks as he's gonna make a hard switch into his Gliscor. Now, if I'd gone for the Lava Plume and got a burn on his Gliscor, it would have been really bad for him, but I guess it works out for him as now he's able to get up his own Stealth Rocks as I go into my Latias. And even though he does have a Chansey on his team, I'm still gonna go for the Draco Meteor instead of making a double switch into my Gallade or even Landers T, expecting him to go into Chansey because I really have no reason to make an aggressive play at this point. So I'm gonna go for the Draco Meteor as he's gonna go into Chansey, and I can just go into my Gallade right now because I'm expecting him to go for the Softball, and if he does go for it, then I pretty much get in my Gallade for free. But it turns out that he's gonna go for the Seismic Toss instead of going for the Softball, which is really good because this Chansey is really annoying to my Latias. And because my Gallade is in, I can finally Mega Evolve and go right for the Swords Dance because I know he's gonna switch into his Gliscor, and I do have Ice Punch, which is gonna blow back this Gliscor. So I'm gonna go for the +2 and then go for the Ice Punch, and this Ice Punch is gonna knock him out. I had to go for the SD because Gliscor does have a pretty good chance of living an Ice Punch from unboosted Mega Gallade, and he could have always gone into his Azumarill. So now he's gonna bring in his Gengar. I'm gonna save my Mega Gallade and go into my Assault with Raikou as he's gonna go for the Shadow Ball. Now, I did not see Life or Recall damage on him, and I also did not see Black Sludge recovery, so that means he has to be choiced in some kind of way. The damage which he did to me is definitely not Choice Specs, so that means he has to be Choice Scarf Gengar, so that's good to know. And I'm just gonna go for the Volt Switch as he's gonna go into Chansey, which means that I can just bring in my Mega Gallade, and I'm gonna go for the Zen Headbutt just in case if he wanted to switch out into his Gengar or maybe Azumarill expecting me to go for the close combat. I get a flinch on the Zen Headbutt, which is really not gonna matter as I'm able to finish him off, and now he's gonna go into his Gengar. Like I said, I want to save this Mega Gallade, so I'm gonna go into my specially defensive Heatran as he's gonna go for the Shadow Ball, and now I can just freely go for the Lava Plume because both of his bulky Pokemon are down and nothing on his team wants to take this Lava Plume and get potentially burned. So he's gonna go into his Azumarill, but I did not get a burn with his Lava Plume, which is really annoying because if I'd got a burn on this Azumarill would have been less of a threat. So I just need to sack my Manaphy here because Manaphy really does not do anything in this game as most of his Pokemon outspeed me, and at this amount of HP, Manaphy cannot really switch into any kind of attack. So I'm gonna sack my Manaphy as now I can freely go into my Latias, and because he has logged himself into Waterfall, I can just go for the Psyshock as he's gonna go into his Scizor. And like I said, I really have no reason to make an aggressive play if I don't need to, so I'm gonna go for the Psyshock as he's gonna go into his Mega Scizor. The Psyshock is gonna put him in the range of Draco Meteor, and I really need to save my Latias or else his Azumarill can just freely spam Waterfall on my team. So I'm gonna sack my Mega Mega Gallade, as I know he has to go for the Bullet Punch, because if I go for the Draco Meteor, then his Scizor dies. And now I'm gonna go into my Raikou, as I can easily take his Bullet Punch and knock him out with a T-Bolt. So he's gonna go for the Bullet Punch, as I'm gonna go for the T-Bolt to knock him out. And now he's forced to go into Choice Scarf Gengar, because if he goes into Azumarill and locks himself into Aqua Jet, I can just get a free kill with my Latias. So he's gonna go into his Choice Scarf Gengar, as this Raikou can potentially clean up the game. So I'm gonna go into my Heatran, as he's gonna go for the Shadow Ball, and he actually gets a Spadef drop, which is fine, as it really isn't gonna matter because I'm pretty sure he would have 2-KO'd me anyways. So he's gonna go for the Shadow Ball to knock me out, as now I can go into my Choice Scarf Landers T. Now this is gonna be a 50-50 if I go for the U-turn, expecting him to go into Azumarill on my Landers T, or if I go for the Stone Edge, expecting him to stay in, expecting me to go for the U-turn. I do win the 50-50 as I'm able to go for the Stone Edge, and luckily for me, I'm able to connect and I'm able to take out his Choice Scarf Gengar, which is really big because if I'd missed my Stone Edge, I would have lost the game right there. So he's gonna go into Azumarill and go right for the Aqua Jet to take out my Landers T, and he's locked into Aqua Jet now. I still haven't won the game, because if he is a mix Thundurus with knockoff, I pretty much lose the game, because he can just knock out my Latias with knockoff, and then I'll need a damage roll in my favor with Raikou's T-Bolt to knock out his mixed Thundurus with Naive Nature. And I'm assuming he is a special Thundurus, because he does have 2 physical attackers in Azumarill and his Scizor, and it does make sense that he will be having 2 special attackers as well. So I'm gonna knock out his Azumarill after healing up a couple of times, and now he's gonna go into his Thundurus, and he's gonna go for his best possible play, which is to go for the T-Wave. And if he fully paralyzes my Latias 2 times, then he can just 2-KO my Latias with HP Ice, and then he'll win the game, because as you can see from the damage count, my Assault Wish Raikou can now knock out his Thundurus at the amount of HP he'll be at after knocking out my Latias. And Latias did get fully paralyzed on the turn he went for the T-Wave. So if my Latias gets fully paralyzed this turn, then I lose the game. But luckily for me, my Latias is gonna pull through and does not get paralyzed. So I'm able to go for the Psyshock to knock him out, and that's gonna be a close game. That was a 2-0 victory in my favor. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching and have a good day.